The time is 18 minutes to 5. Let's take a few minutes to talk about something we haven't touched on yet this afternoon, because today is the deadline for people to share their views on the government's proposed changes to the planning system. Among the changes being put forward is a controversial new formula to assess housing need in England. Several Conservative MPs have raised concerns that the formula will lead to houses being built in the wrong parts of the country, and they've called on the government to think again. Well, let's debate what is proposed and what is needed. Hugh Ellis joins me, Policy Director for the Town and Country Planning Association, which promotes quality, affordable housing, and John Myers, who is co-founder of YIMBY, which stands for Yes in My Backyard, a grassroots movement which calls for a massive house building programme across the country. Very good afternoon to both of you, gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
Hugh Ellis, can I start with you from the Town and Country Planning Association? What is needed and why, do you feel?
Well, there's no doubt the government has a very radical agenda on planning. The Prime Minister's forward to the White Paper says they want to tear down the existing system and they want to introduce a radical new system. I think the challenge behind that is if you want really good places, you need strong planning, and you also need really strong democratic control. I think the challenge with the White Paper is that the most likely consequence of it is going to be a free-for-all, where you neither see the houses built in the right places, nor the quality, nor the affordability. So there is, though, a tremendous amount at stake. I mean, people are frustrated with planning, I know, but they're familiar with having a voice in it. And what's at stake this winter and next year is whether we have a system where people are at the heart of it, or whether or not development will simply just happen regardless of their views. And in our view, we desperately need the homes, but you can't build without consent.
Well, John Myers, I mean, I think there is agreement, isn't there, that more housing is needed. I mean, we talk all the time about how difficult it is for younger people in particular to find somewhere to live, frankly, and to find somewhere that's affordable. But a free-for-all's not the answer, is it?
Well, I completely agree. We need plenty more homes, and a free-for-all isn't the answer. To be clear, a free-for-all is not what the White Paper is proposing, and I think the Housing Secretary will be the first to recognise that he's keen to get people's feedback so that these proposals can be as good as possible. The goal of the White Paper is to bring the democracy forward so that people get a real say in what's going to be allowed, and they have a clear idea of what will be allowed on their street in advance, because all too often under the current system, people object to a planning application and then it gets approved on appeal because they find out it was allowed in a local plan that was prepared years before they ever knew anything. So the idea is to fix that and create more certainty for everybody.
So you think that under these proposals, there would be people in a local level would have a genuine say? They would genuinely be able to say, for example, I'm all for a big housing development on the edge of town. We need the houses, but actually it's too big. For example, will people really be able to have that sort of say? Because people should have the right to object, shouldn't they?
I completely agree. People should have the right to be involved and to decide the future of their area. And the key behind this is to make sure that development genuinely benefits local communities. All too often, we see things which just make the place worse. And, I think Hugh and I would agree on that. And the key is to find ways where communities can plan for a future where the place they live is better and is improved and enhanced, and more jobs are created by what is built near them.
I mean, Hugh Ellis, do you recognise any of what John Myers is describing there?
Well, I think there's a really important argument going on for the kind of soul of whether you have local democratic planning. If we're all agreed that people should have a clear voice, the question then is, why does the White Paper, for example, specifically take out the right to be heard in front of a planning inspector when plans are made? Why, for example, has the government deregulated planning? So 90,000 units of housing have come through a process that doesn't require full planning permission at all, where people's voice is completely ignored. And the quality of some of that development has been, we can all agree, appalling, including tiny space standards, no gardens, no windows in some cases. I think the great challenge here is that we all share an ambition to make places that are zero carbon and genuinely affordable. The real problem here is that what underlies the White Paper is if you deregulate, you end up with positive outcomes. We're on an experiment here and run into housing which is poor quality, unaffordable in the wrong place. And if we've got a shared ambition, I really hope the government will think again, reach out and build a consensus, because the thing we need post-COVID is healthy environments, healthy places. We all agree about that, but we also need trust in local democracy. So people's voice is important.
I mean, John Myers, nobody, hopefully, wants poor quality housing, surely. I mean, we should be better than that in 2020, shouldn't we?
I absolutely agree. Let me just pick up specifically this right to be heard in front of a planning inspector. It's of almost no use if the local plan, which was written years before, in terms that are incomprehensible to most normal people, provides that that development should go ahead, because legally the developer is entitled to have their development approved. So you can talk to a planning inspector until you're blue in the face, but if the plan approves the development, you're basically wasting your time, unfortunately. So I think we all agree we need to fix the democracy. We need to work with the government to improve these proposals and make sure it works well. But we're also all agreed that radical change is needed because no one's happy with the current system.
Gentlemen, I'm sorry we have to leave it there, but thank you very much. That consultation closes today. John Myers and Hugh Ellis from the Town and Country Planning Association, thank you very much.